Hello everybody, it's Dana Sullivan, the Stampin' Chick, here with another Make It Monday. How are you today, my friends? I hope you had a fabulous weekend. I got to spend some time with a sweet friend of mine that I'm so excited is up here visiting from Florida. So I had a great weekend with her. Hi, Luann. How are you? Oh, I see lots of folks coming in today. Yay! Hello, everybody. All right. Today, friends, I have a fun and fabulous fancy fold card to share with you. This particular type of fancy fold is absolutely perfect for those occasions where you may have a lot to say or you have multiple people who need to sign the card. So it opens like this, and check out all of that fabulous real estate for writing. Lots of fun. And it's a great card. It's just so pretty. Okay, so we're going to get right to it. We're using the Beauty of Tomorrow Stampin' Die bundle. I'm in love with this bundle, and I've been doing a lot of work with it recently because my friend Wendy and I are doing our next Blue Ridge Stampin' Escape with this product collection as our theme. And so this card is not one of the projects, but it's just the slightest hint of a sampling of the kinds of products that you'll be able to do when you join us for that Stampin' Escape. So it's a virtual Stampin' Escape, and anyone in the United States can join us. You don't have to be local to me. And you'll be able to find it on my blog, which I'll also post a link here just in case you would like to sign up. We still have a handful of days left, I think maybe a week and a half or so before we close registrations. And actually Wednesday evening at 7, I believe, we'll be doing a Facebook Live sneak peek. So you'll be able to check that out over on the Blue Ridge Stampin' Escapes Facebook page. So if you would like to see more product ideas, more projects, and get some more information about the Stampin' Escape, you can join us there at the Blue Ridge Stampin' Escapes here on Facebook. All right. That was a great big mouthful. And with that being said, let's get to all of the details of today's project. So we're using the Beauty of Tomorrow bundle. I'm going to be using Rich Raspberry ink, cinnamon cider, and early espresso. I will also be using this beautiful gold shimmer ribbon that's part of the Blackberry Beauty product suite. I'm going to be using some of the brushed metallic adhesive backed dots, and I'm using some of the Designer Series paper as well. So let me get the measurements to you. I'm going to set these out of the way for just a moment. Okay, first and foremost, you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock. These measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and this is your front and back cover to your card. Okay, so this one is Rich Raspberry. I love this color. It's a beautiful, nice royal color, a little bit lighter than Blackberry Bliss, but still has a bit of purple to it, so it's just gorgeous. We're going to be using a piece of Designer Series paper that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches for the front cover. We're going to be using a piece of Rich Raspberry cardstock that is 2 1/8 by 3 1/4, and I've die cut this with the 3rd largest Stitch So Sweetly rectangle die. So I love the little stitching and the scalloped edge around it. I think it's beautiful. And then I've taken a piece of 1 5/8 by 2 3/4 inch DSP. in a different pattern, and this is going to line up beautifully inside that rectangle. I also have already stamped one of the little flower and leaf clusters on a scrap of basic white cardstock, and I've done this in rich razzleberry, and I'm just in love with the distinctive stamping that is on this stamp set. It's just beautiful. I also have a piece of designer series paper that matches the front panel, and this one is 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4, I believe. Oh yeah, yep, 3 3/4. All right, so 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4, and this is for the inside panel. So when I pulled this open, you could see it right here, just to add a little bit more of the designer series paper. Okay, so that is that piece. And then I have a 1/4 inch strip of basic white cardstock for the sentiment on the front. So this is the sentiment that I'm stamping, and then we're going to cut it out and adhere it such as that. Hey, Miss Carol, how are you, darling? Okay, and then the inside panel, that is this piece right here. Okay, this is 3 3/4 by 11 inches, and then we're going to score this a couple of times. So I'll show you that one right now. All right, so let me get out my Simply Scored scoreboard, and y'all know I'm kind of covering up that white cardstock so that it doesn't get crazy on here. Okay, so I'm going to score this at 5 inches and 10 inches. Okay, so we have it just like that, and then I can get this out of the way. That's all the scoring that we're going to be doing. I'll take my handy dandy bone folder, try to keep this white from auto-focusing in and out. And I have, okay, the two bigger panels together, and then this piece is going to go back, okay? Just like that. All right. So then when we put it on our card, we'll have our back piece. We'll put adhesive over this first big section, and we're going to attach it down just like so. And then we'll put some adhesive on this piece and attach it to the back side of the front panel. Okay, so that's the mechanical aspects of it. Okay, let's go ahead and put the front together before we do all of that, okay? All right, so I've got my 4 by 5 1/4 inch DSP, and I'm going to just put my adhesive on and completely forget about the fact that I wanted to put ribbon on there first. So don't attach it yet. Oh, goodness. Okay, I'm going to get my silicone mat so that I don't snag up my adhesive here. This is a good way to do it if you need an extra set of hands. I mean, just saying, I didn't mean to do it on purpose, but but it's one good way of holding your ribbon. And so we're just going to tie this into one little knot here. There we go. Just like that. And then I'll pull this up, and I'm going to slide my ribbon so that my bow is just to the edge there. That was an oops thing. Tie your bow around it before you put the adhesive on, okay? There we go. And then cinch it down, and it's ready to go. Okay. Now then, I got that done. Now I can bring this over, attach it down. Oof, that got loose on me. So if it gets loose, just undo the knot just a little bit. today's going to be that day, I can tell. I mean, it is a Monday, so, you know. You just bring it loose here. And then cinch it up a bit more underneath. So I'm pulling the bottom ends of my knot. And then I can cinch it back up again here. There we go. That's better. That's better. Okay. Now I want to trim that because we don't need those long old edges. So let's trim that up a bit. Okay. Alright. Now I'm taking all of my little pieces here. And I'm going to attach this DSP piece to the little scalloped rectangle. And I'm just going to glue it directly. Right in the middle there. Beautiful. Okay. And then I'm going to take some liquid glue and just attaching a little bit to the back of that flower cluster, and I'm going to layer it on right about there. Okay. Now, we need to stamp our little sentiment, so I'm going to use that tiny little I'm Here For You stamp and rich raspberry ink. Tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. Make sure that you're tapping all over, not just in the middle, right? Okay, and then I'm going to line this up, and believe it or not, it does fit if I keep my head out of the way. Okay, there we go. And then we'll set that aside for just a hot second because I don't want to smear it. Those richer inks, they take just a second longer than the regular inks to dry, okay? So just give them a hot second and we'll be good. Okay, let's go ahead and stamp on this part, all right? So while we're waiting for that one, we'll do this part here. I've already tucked this back. I don't have any adhesive on it, but I want to do this stamping so that I can set this aside and we can focus on attaching this while this is drying, okay? Hope that makes sense. Alright, so I'm going to use my rich raspberry ink again, and this time I'm using this little splatter stamp here, and I'm bringing in a scrap of paper because I actually want to stamp it off one time. And then stamp there, stamp there, right there, and I'm just doing a little bit of kind of random stamping here. I mean, not totally random because I'm copying what I've already done, but you know, just some splatters, okay? And then I'm going to take cinnamon cider ink and that fabulous bird. Tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. And I'm going to stamp one of them right here. And then I'm going to stamp the other one down here. Beautiful. And then I'm taking that early espresso ink and I'm going to stamp my sentiment right up here, okay? Make sure I get it straight or straight-ish. There we are. Very good. Okay. Alright, so now that I've got that done, I'm going to set it off to the side. I'm going to set this over. Actually, I can close that back up again. And I want to trim off my words here. Now, I will tell you that even though this is a 1/4 of an inch strip, I'm actually going to trim it down even farther because I really want to be right next to my my words, okay? So I'm going to trim that one. I'm going to trim this one. Okay. I left that one because that Y goes down a little bit longer than the others, so if you're wondering why I did that weird thing, that's why. Alright, now let me get these trimmed up. I like doing this because if I wanted to use only part of this sentiment, I could very easily, or I could change words around, or, you know, I could use a couple of the words from this one, I could use a couple of the words from one of the other stamps, I could mix and match words to make different statements. So don't restrict yourself just to whatever a sentiment stamp says. I mean, you can dissect it clear down. In fact, if you really wanted to, you could dissect it even farther to letters, right? I mean, that would get a little tedious, I think, but you certainly could. Alright, now we're going to take our little label piece here, and I'm using the sticky tip of my Take Your Pick tool because these are so small, and I'm using my liquid glue. And what I want to do is just lay these pieces down so that I get an idea of where I want them to go. I think I could go down just a little farther. I'm not really worried too much about straight just yet because I'm not gluing them down now. I'm just using this as a filler, right? Okay, so I like the way that looks. Now I can attach with the glue, and I just want to use a tiny little bit. Okay, I'm not getting crazy with it. Hey now, but I am running away with it. Alright, there we go. And I'll put this down. Get a really good hold of it this time. Maybe that'll help me. There we go, that's better. Make sure you've got it right side up, because if it's upside down, it might not really make sense. Okay. And then the next one. Okay, and one more. Notice that I really didn't use very much glue at all. When you use the tiniest bit of glue, it dries faster, it doesn't slip and slide and move around as much, and you don't waste as much, and it doesn't get everywhere, okay? So that's my tip and trick. Be very light-handed with the liquid glue. Okay, and then I know already I want to put this whole panel on dimension, so I'm going to take some of my dimensionals and I'm going to snip them in half because I have 2.5 dimensionals left on my card and I can use it for this whole thing. So that's Miss Dana being a little bit chintzy, but that's okay because look at that, I have just enough. I can throw that away. Alright, so now that I've got that, it's done and out of the way, I'm going to bring this panel back in, and we have to attach this little strip right down here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive on here, and I'm covering up my bird a little bit. I didn't stamp it up quite high enough, so putting that strip on first might have been a better idea. But I can show you here, I have it on this edge and then the bird stamp just above it. It's okay, it'll be great. Alright, now I'm going to use the bottom section, this big section here, to put adhesive on. So I'll do that first. Fold this whole thing over. Grab my background. This is the side that doesn't have anything on it, okay? So I'm going to put that, and I'm going to line this up in the middle. Okay, right about there. I'll bring this over, and I'm going to attach this end with adhesive as well. Now what I want to do is fold it back over, and I'm going to bring this front panel to line up with the edges, okay? So once I've lined it up with those three, I can bring it down here and know that it's even all the way around. Alright, and there's our card. Okay? And the only thing left for us to do is put this piece on and then put our metallic dots, right? So, even though it seems like a more detailed card and it's a fancy fold, it really doesn't take long, does it? Okay, let me put this right about there. I think that's about good. I'm kind of just eyeballing where I want it to go. Alright, give that another quick little tug to line up, and then bring in my metallic dots, and I'm using those really pretty copper ones because I think they go well with the cinnamon cider. Alright, so I'm going to put a couple up here. Let's put one here. Put one over here. And one down here. Alright, there we go. And there we have it, my friends. I'm here for you. Beautiful card. Expands out to give you plenty of room to write whatever you need to write, or leave room for plenty of people to sign. And you know, if you have a lot of people that need to sign, especially with this particular card, you could just omit this stamped image and that would leave lots of room. You know, maybe just put the bird and the cluster here, bird and cluster here, and leave the whole rest of that empty, right? Because it says I'm here for you on the outside. You really wouldn't have to put another sentiment on the inside if you didn't want to. Alright, so there you have it, friends. I hope you like it. Now, of course, no naked insides and no naked envelopes, right? So if I'm going to dress up the envelope, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that same cinnamon cider ink and that beautiful bird, and I'm going to put it right there. And then I think I'll take the rich raspberry ink and that same flower cluster that we used on the front of the card, and let's put it right there. How's that? Oh, gorgeous. Okay, very nice. Alright, friends, I will have the measurements and supply list over on my blog here in just a hot minute. And if you would like to join in on the Stampin' Escape, you can find it on my blog, the beautiful Tomorrow Blue Ridge Stampin' Escape, or I will put the link here after this post gets posted or uploaded, whatever you want to say. And if you have any questions or whatever, you can let me know. Celebration is still going on for just a few more days, so you can get some fabulous items for free if you'd like, and you can get the starter kit for $99 and get $125 worth of product and get a bundle for free, which is absolutely fabulous. It's like an extra 50 bucks for free, which is awesome. Alright, you can find all of the details about that on my website at danasullivan.stampinup.net. Check out my blog at thestampinchick.com with all of the details and measurements for tonight's project. Thank you guys so much for joining me this evening. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed the project. And until next time, my friends, I'll see you later. Bye for now.